Sharon, Dunn, the senior minister here at the Sacramento Center for Spiritual Living, where we believe that you can change your life by changing your
thinking.
Oh, la, that is wonderful. Yes, and we're all celebrating today. The energy, maybe the full moon has gone, so we can all just kind of relax now. That is so true. There is a lot to celebrate, and one thing that we are celebrating is that we have said yes to the address. Yes, and we are holding bi-monthly town hall meetings, and we had one on Friday, and we're recording them. So if you're busy Friday night and you can't get to our town hall meeting, you can actually listen to the recordings, and we're going to post those on our website. So what happens at the town hall meeting is that we tell you what we're up to. So this last month, we have literally taken walls down and shaken the ceiling and looked up there and torn wallpaper off, and it's just kind of amazing all the things that we're doing. And when it's safe to do so, we will invite all of you to come. And if you have anger issues, you bring a sledgehammer and you just knock that wall down. You don't need therapy. It is the cheapest way to feel better. You would have to have a hard hat and a mask with a respirator, but come and enjoy it. We'll let you know when we're going to be there doing that kind of stuff. So we have said yes to the address. And we do have a new month. And, I like the theme. The theme this month is embracing self-care. So while we're sharing today, I want you to be thinking about, how are you doing with self-care? What are you doing with self-care? And what would you like to be doing about self-care? So that's what we're going to spend the month on, and I think that's going to be an amazing month, wouldn't you say? So our new book of the month is called Care of the Soul. I've already started reading it. You can join me there. It's on Kindle. And I'm not going to say a lot about it right now because I haven't really jived with it yet. So I'm going to keep going and keep diving into it. It's an edition celebrating its 20-year anniversary. So I'm wondering if it's a little more about that than the actual, original text. So I'm recommending that you go to the original text. But anyway, that's what we're using for our book of the month. So we are so blessed. What is she?
Is that me? Is that you?
What happened?
That's Margie.
Yes, it's Margie.
Mm-hmm.
She's laughing for some
The
reason.
photo gives the impression.
Oh, that is not. Yes, that's not Margie. Right. That's so funny. That is not Margie, but we do have an amazing practitioner of truth. Someone who shows up, drives all the way here from Cameron Park, and shows up for us in her beautiful way of consciousness, willingness. What a service-oriented practitioner of truth. We have some needs around the community, like paneling new ministers, paneling new practitioners, and different centers around the country are doing this at the same time. And we've been called for help to do that, to sit on a panel for practitioners. Who's the first one to raise their hand? Who's the first one to be on our outreach, ministry? I can't say enough about this beautiful being. So come and bring us into prayer, Margie.
Thank you. And going deep within, in the center of our soul, our heart, our love, where everything that is good, for that's where our higher self, our divine self resides. And as I know that I am deeply one with this precious desire of the one mind of God, I know each one here is one also. And as I know this for all of us, I know those that are not with us today, but are on Zoom or YouTube, they too are one and the same. For it's all good. We are a community of love. So we bless our service together today. We bless each other. We know we're going to have the perfect message, perfect music, perfect time for fellowship, and in gratitude as we always are we say together.
So
And so it is. Thank you.
beautiful.
And now for our readings. Dr. Ernest Holmes of the Science of Mind says, "My body is not conscious of life, but my thought is conscious of my body. My thought operates upon my body." Self-care is not self-indulgence, it is self-preservation.
Yes.
Audre Lorde, A Burst of Light, and other essays. To be yourself in the world, constantly trying to make yourself something else, is a great accomplishment. Yes. Being yourself in the world, constantly trying to make you something else, is a great accomplishment. I like that. Ralph Waldo Emerson. Thank you. And now we have Bev and Greg singing All Is Well, because all is well.
I was just thinking that would be such a beautiful chant, wouldn't it? I know all is well.
Every step is true.
Every step is true.
Living in the heart of God.
Living in the heart of God.
Every breath is new.
Every breath is new.
Wow.
Wow. So when we get into our new space and we're having concerts and we're doing fundraisers, Bev and Greg are going to come back and they're going to chant that for us. That's so beautiful. I loved it. So where I'm at today is embracing self-care, and I found some really fun stuff this week that I want to share with you. And one of them was from a radio show that Ernest Holmes did. And there's a transcript in the archives. I don't know if you know about the archives of Science of Mind, but we have archives available to the public. So you can literally, and I don't know why I got God bumps doing that, because it's such it's like our own library. And it is accessed through CSL.org, centersforspiritualliving.org. Go to the archives, and you can just search different things. But his radio shows are on there. And sometimes I will listen on YouTube to his radio show and literally transcribe it. Like what I do is I put it on my computer and I press play, and then I put my audio on, and I have it dual screened with the document, and it just transcribes it for me so that I can mull it over. I can explore it more. And so this particular podcast. Oh, Ernest, you're so hip. His podcast on self-care is just extraordinary, and I'm using it this week. So we start out with a quote from him, and he says, "We all wish to be well in order that we may be happy. But we shall have to become happy if we wish to be well." I liked it so much I put it on Facebook. We all wish to be well in order that we may be happy, but we shall have to be happy if we wish to be well. And here's the thing about that, is you may be experiencing some dis-ease. And of course, in that moment thinking, oh gosh, I'd really like to be happy. I'd like to feel better. But in truth, in that, we must be happy in order to bring on that sense of wholeness and wellness, that sense of well-being. So that's a wonderful thing. We're going to talk about 3 different things, and I very much got excited about this first one. Mental hygiene. I went, yeah. I mean, I brush my teeth. But what do I do for my mind in cleaning up cobwebs and such? The second is psychosomatics. Another approach that I've found that I really enjoy. And last, of course, is well-being. So Carl Jung has said that faith and a belief in the reality of our own soul are the best possible mental hygiene. That's where I got the word, mental hygiene. He says, faith and a belief in the reality of the soul. So it's one thing to have faith, but to believe that we have a soul, we're going to go into that a little bit this morning, because that concept is deep. You know, I have faith. I know I have a soul, but I've been in training since the early 90s to be a minister of God's work. And even before that, as a 6-year-old in the Catholic Church, with the light coming through the stained glass, I felt that there was something more than me, even at 6 years old. And that something more than me is the soul. And the soul is what we are connected in to each other. We're not connected in body. We're not connected in genetics. That's temporary, right? But we are connected soul to soul. And when we move from this life to the next, we don't leave the soul, and all that we know in the soul, it goes with us. So it's an evolution, an ever-expanding life. So to know and to commune with the soul is part of this mental hygiene. Isn't that amazing? It's amazing. So to live our life to the fullest, self-care must be embraced in daily practice to help you remember who you are. Do we forget who we are every 5 minutes? I should say I. I should make I statements so I don't offend anyone. Do I forget sometimes who I am and whose I am? Yes. And to know who we are, we must remember that we are the soul. And what is the soul? Infinite. Infinite potential. Infinite life. Peace. Joy. Abundance. Life. Light. Harmony. Our soul is all there is. And there is no bound or limit. And so when we're talking about mental hygiene, we're not talking about the brain. We're talking about the mind. The one mind. And those two words have been used interchangeably. Mind and soul. I'm going to mention that. Some people maybe don't want to hear about the soul. Some people want to understand universe, universal mind. That, whatever it is that gets you there, whatever you want to call it. As I always say, it always answers. And so this whole idea of mental hygiene is soul work. Self-care started in the medical field. Way back in the 50s, we discovered that people taught about their self-worth did better. Well, what is the worth part? The worth part is our potential. We have unlimited, infinite potential, not only as a soul, but as a life purpose. Name of the game is how much we can access this unlimited potential and live it and breathe it and experience it. I always say, if we're not experiencing it, it's not happening. It's not real. You have to bring it in to a form called experience. You have to taste it, smell it, breathe it, using all the senses. This is very exciting. We're going to spend a whole month talking about self-care. And self-care is not limited to the body. In fact, the body comes second. Once the soul is cared for, the body automatically improves. Do we ever get that backwards? Oh, I just got to get better so that I can get it together here. Everything's a mess. I don't know how you do, but when things are difficult, when I have a challenge, do I go deep and say, oh yes, let me do my soul work? Or do I have to kind of find my way through the muck? What do? Spiritual practice. It's all tied together. So do I call my prayer partner? Do I do meditation? Do I do journaling? What do I do? What do we do? What are you doing for mental hygiene? Isn't that a wonderful idea? Did anyone think hygiene was kind of limited to the body? I love this idea of mental hygiene. So, what it says here is, there is no self-care without mind. I didn't put this together. That's why I come here every week. Thank you so much for having me. Because I need to be reminded all the time of what's possible. I sometimes get caught up in the human thing. Does anyone get caught up in the human thing? Oh my God, did you hear what happened to them? And it's not easy. On my way here, I got a phone call bringing me into the body. It does. It brings me into the body. The body ache, the pain of being human. And was the first thing I thought of mental hygiene? How can I meet this with mental hygiene? Well, not so much. But as I say, I know I can walk on water, but I still sink. but I know what to do. I know what to do. I know I have the tools, and that's amazing. Somebody was talking to me about tools, having tools. It'll come back to me. It is from the mind that self-deprecating and demeaning thoughts like, oh, I'm not good enough. Oh, I will never succeed at what I am doing. Or, oh, I should just give up. Has anyone, and do you have your own kind of diddly there? Call out anything recent? Oh, anybody? Just me?
I bought $150 worth of baby fabric thinking I'm going to make bibs and burp cloths and layouts, and I've never even gotten my machine out. It's almost a year. So I've offered the fabric to my niece, who sews beautifully. So yeah, I can't deal with the sewing machine.
Well, so what you can say then is, look how generous I am. That she has been gifted with this vision that I have.
She's excited.
But instead do we say, oh, I didn't get it done. Oh, God, I failed there. I mean, do we do that? Do we live there sometimes? We're not doing that. Not this month. This month we are working with embracing self-care. And notice the word embracing. It's very much like embodying. What does that say to you? We have to experience it. Self-care, that's not enough. We are embracing. We are embodying self-care, which I think is fabulous. Once you can control your thoughts, you are in for mind-boggling freedom. Controlling my thoughts. Now, that's actually one of the declarations of our, of our principles written by Ernest Holmes, that people kind of take issue with the word controlling, controlling our experiencing. What we can say if we don't like the word controlling is we could use the word discipline. We could use the word habit. We could use the word hygiene, which is kind of like a discipline and a habit. We brush our teeth as often as we can and should. But that'll be another sermon, but right now we're talking about when you become aware of your spiritual perfection and tap into the mind's ability to create the ideal life for you, then all of a sudden you realize there's no specific image to look up to for perfection but you. So, psychosomatics. Now, as soon as I heard the word, I thought, ooh, psychosomatic illness. But wait till you hear Ernest Holmes' interpretation. He's amazing. He's always kind of magical, isn't he? Kind of turns that into that. It's so much better. Which is probably why the teaching has been so successful. Because it's doable, provable, it improves life. He talks about psychosomatics taken from two Greek words, psyche, psych, meaning mind, and soma, meaning body. Ernest Holmes is talking about the mind-body connection back in the day. We studied it in school. It's a thing now. It's a whole science. It's a whole, you can actually visit people who do mind-body work. We have graduate and advanced degrees in mind-body medicine, and he's talking about it way back in the day. He says, psychosomatic medicine means establishing a right relationship between our thinking and our bodies. I thought it was, psychosomatic. Cray. Did you not? Did you not? Were you there with me? Ooh, she has a psychosomatic illness. That means she made it up in her head, and that's why it's in her body. No, No, let's look at it a little differently. Let's embrace the idea of psych and soma as the relationship between our thinking and our bodies. Ernest Holmes. To me, that's like, wow. If many physical ailments are a direct or an indirect result of habitual thought patterns, why not train our thought patterns towards our desired state of well-being? This is Ernest. And last he says, there is a definite relationship between health and happiness. And since happiness is a state of mind, there's a definite relationship between our mental states and our physical well-being. This relationship is called psychosomatics. So just as you think that you can think up a condition, circumstance, and situation, we can think up self-care and well-being. We can neutralize the first with the latter. We can neutralize using psychosomatics. I love this. I'm just going to run around being psychosomatic because it's a different way of looking at it. When I found this, I was just like, well, this is amazing. Anyway, I'm always intrigued. So he goes on, at the core of every neurosis, which accounts for a large percentage of wrong body-mind relationships, there are generally 4 fundamental propositions that must be taken into account. This is all earnest. First, a sense of rejection. Not being wanted, needed, or loved. Ever experienced that? Second, a sense of guilt. Third, a sense of insecurity and uncertainty. And fourth, a sense of anxiety. These 4 points are my jam. I mean, it's anyone's. It's natural. What I say every day when I get up. Honey, you are as vulnerable as this skin to be alive. We are on survival. Give us a break here. We are doing our very best. And yes, we're going to have these survival mechanisms to deal with. That's what we're here for. I mean, they crucified Jesus. We are not above being rejected and crucified and anxious. We're okay. That is the human experience. I say this every Sunday. We're okay. You come here to hear. We're okay, and this is how we're going to do it. People cannot go back over their lives and live them over again, he says, because that would be impossible. But they can rethink their experience. I'm actually taking a class, as you know. I took the first, the first 5 weeks, 6 weeks. And now this Thursday, Reverend Patricia and I are starting our next 8 weeks working with Reverend Dr. Michelle Wadley in her shadow work, which I find fascinating now that I'm willing to do it. Now that I'm willing to look at that stuff and, kind of pull up the thing and go, oh gosh, there you are. Everywhere I go, there I am. And that we can't go back, but we can look at the experiences that we've had, that we formed a belief about, and decide, is it still true? Is that still true? Is that still working for my highest good? Most of the stuff in my shadow, not so much. And I'm enjoying looking at it. Why? Because my life is getting better. Because my relationships are getting better. Because I'm getting more mastery over those things. What are the 4 things? Rejection, guilt, insecurity, and anxiety. I'm getting better and faster. I want mastery. You know why I want mastery? Because I'm here for 4 letters. I'm here to love. Right, period. Love. I have to decide in every moment, is this love? And a lot of times it's like, no, not really. And where did that come from? Why did I do that? That came from the shadow. That, a lot of times, as I said last month, has nothing to do with the person in front of me that I'm interacting with. That's old stuff. Bless my husband. I just have to bless him right now. He is the fastest way to self for me. Because what I'm doing with him is a lot of things that have nothing to do with him. That poor guy, he just got hit by something and he doesn't know what. It's terrifying. And then I have to look and go, who are you? Because you're not the same with it. No, you know, and I get it, but mastery isn't that we do it all perfect, is it? It's that we get faster at it. And we make amends. And we're forgiven. Mostly, we forgive ourselves. And I got to tell you, since I started taking this class, I have not had to apologize for a response. Maybe once. Maybe once. Because of the look on his face, it was kind of like, I went, that look looks like you just got hit upside the head. I might have to look at that. And I did. And I had to say, wow, that was from that other thing that hurt me when I was 3, or in that last relationship, or whatever, in that last job, or whatever. There's no shame here. Remember we did that. Shame and guilt. Guilt, I did that thing. Shame is I am that thing. There's no shame here. We can have guilt though, can we? But we can move through it quickly. Psych is the Greek word for mind, right? We agreed to that. In other research that I did, psych was also used for the soul. So psych and mind are the same. We're talking about the one mind, okay? Not the brain. When I say mind, we're not thinking brain. Psych is the Greek word for mind, and soma is the Greek for body, as we established. And the third word that he uses is pneuma. You ready? Which means spirit. So what he's suggesting, it was their conviction that man is spirit, mind, and body, and that the three are interrelated. And this point must be carefully considered in dealing with mind-body relationships. It is only when we put the three together that we have the whole person, that we have wholeness. Wholeness is mind, wholeness is body, and wholeness is spirit. And if we have to think of it in terms of what comes first, the chicken or the egg, spirit. That's the root of our being. That is the root where we get everything. Then everything. So for everyone rooted in pure spirit, we establish the best relationship between the mind and the body. We must first have the best relationship with spirit. So that's where it came back. We're coming all the way back to the faith, aren't we? What did we say? Carl Jung said faith and a belief in the reality of our own soul are the best possible mental hygiene. We have to believe in this. What is faith? Faith is also a reliance. We let go and let God, or whatever you want to call it. Mother, Father, God, infinite love, whatever you want to call it. It is who you are, and it's what your starting point. You were born to know more of that all the way till you take your last breath. That's the only reason you're here. And in between, we do things like get a job so we can eat. But we get lost in thinking that's our purpose, don't we? We get lost in thinking this relationship is my God. This relationship is my source. You know, because I was born to serve, I was born to be a minister of God's work, I have been given so many opportunities to have this ingrained. You know, I thought, My relationship is my source, and my spouse of 45 years died. I thought my children were my source, and my child died. I thought, have you ever done that? Just gone and thought, this is my source, this is my source, this is my... And then you come down to it and realize, I came in here naked, I'm going out naked. I guess I only have one source. And that source, does it get all of your attention? Because it needs to. It needs to be the reason, the why, the first thing. Everything else falls into place. Recovering from a loss will fall into place. Aging's a good time. I wonder what month we'll spend on that. These different things that we experience in life, it all falls into place when we have that root, when we're rooted. I get lots of calls for, oh my God, this is happening, please help me, right? And what do? I feel like as a minister, I get permission. That's what I do. It's my job. It's on my card. That's what I do. I give permission. I give permission to believe. I give permission to return to spirit. I give permission for our feelings and our emotions and our reactions and our behavior. But when I'm giving permission, I have had to learn that for myself first. You don't get to give anything away until you learn it for yourself. That's the physics of the science of mind. And so I hear this voice on the phone that is just sobbing. I'm so scared. The economy is frightening. I am a realtor. I don't know what I'm going to do. I might have to get a job. It's scary. How am I going to pay my rent? And then I say, let me remind you who your source and what your source is. And the next thing you know, the inspiration comes shining through and, oh my gosh, I could do this and I could do that. I didn't even think of that. And suddenly things are changing. Because why? I feel like Disney. Because I love you. Why? Because we remember we can use this source. This source is abundant. It's prosperous. Money falls out of the sky. When we got our building, Ruth and I and the board, we're going to sign a 10-year lease. We're fragile. We just got out of a pandemic. We have experienced something that hasn't been experienced since 1918. Culturally, we're healing. I don't think we have that blind faith we had before the pandemic hit. We can do anything. I think we're all like... Someone walked into the center today and I just ran into her arms and I hugged her. And I thought, oh my God, I'm so sorry I didn't ask permission. It was the way it was. The way it used to be. I could throw myself into someone's arms and not think a thing of it. We're fragile. And so to sign a 10-year lease, I'm like, will people come? Will people help us? Will we be provided for? Will someone donate sheetrock? Or a window? Our landlords aren't going to charge us rent until March of 2024. What do I need here? I have signs that we're okay. That we're going to be great. That we're going to get in there. And if we're about love, and on my life I am, and we are that together, we cannot fail.
Amen.
So why am I like, holy shoot? Why am I afraid? What is that? That's not going to help. In fact, if you put that that in the formula, it cancels out our good. It is up to me to be a soldier for this. And so I honestly got 2 people this week out of the blue offering money. Because yes, I put it on the minister's listserv worldwide. Hey, if anyone wants to be philanthropic, we're over here. And I put pictures of our building, and we opened up the ceiling, and all kinds of things fell down on the floor. Things that nobody should inhale, nobody should be around. And we just kept pounding and breaking down walls. And so I took pictures and I put it on the minister's listserv. And gosh darn it, if someone didn't call me from Montana, I have the message and I'm never going to erase it. Because it was a message that said, I thank you for this and thank you for that, and I read your posts and I do this and I follow you, and I, just being me, and said, I'm just going to, now I know what to do, I'm just going to send money. And then another saying, we have to put faith in the equation. Faith and fear cannot occupy the same space. We cannot entertain it. We have no time for it. It is not in our best interest, ever, period. We can have it for a minute, though, can't we? We must always feel our feelings. Like, we have to know, what's up? What's this? What's coming up for me right now? We have to do that. Otherwise, we're doing a spiritual bypass, and we've talked about that many times. So, let me finish with Ernest Holmes, because he's the mind has to get its patterns from somewhere, he says, and all of our unconscious thought process are fundamentally based in our relationships with the universe, with God. You call it universe, call it God, whatever you want to call it. Just don't call it late for dinner.
Yeah.
Do you see? We get our patterns from somewhere. Where do we get them from? Okay, a tree gets nutrients from the roots. Where do we get it? We must come to have confidence in life. This confidence is established through prayer and meditation, through conscious communion with the Spirit. Well, doesn't it sound easy? I think it does. Here's what he says. Is it possible for a tree to flourish when its roots are destroyed? Just so it is impossible for us to exist in happiness and wholeness unless we recognize that greater life in which we are rooted. Unless we recognize that greater life in which we are rooted. That life that lives in all of us and finds individual expression through you and me. Through you and me. It seems as though it were, he says, impossible to have a radiant physical health without right emotional balance. And it seems equally impossible to have a right emotional balance without first establishing a spiritual equilibrium. This is good stuff. This came from a radio show. This did not come in the sermon notes. This is amazing. Sometimes you just have to go back and listen to Ernest Holmes. And he's fun. He's got that funny little accent. Very, very, very Boston. And he took lessons, in public speaking and acting. So he likes to be a little dramatic. But golly gosh, what comes out of his mouth? It is pure spirit. And that is because he is faith-filled, period. And he didn't see anything in anyone that would separate him from that person ever. He had his institute in Venice, California, and he would bring anybody in off the street. Didn't matter what they were doing on the street. He'd bring them in and say, you can change your life by changing your thinking. Let's sit down. Tell me about yourself. He would love. See past. Can we do that? Can you watch TV and listen to the new political speeches and do that? Yes, we can. Yes, we can. What was that, Obama? Yes, we can. We can look at that person and say, I bless you right here and right now. We are soul connected. I want you to do that. We are soul filled and connected. Now your thinking and my thinking are not similar. And that is not a deterrent for me loving you up. Can we do that? Because that's mental hygiene. You got noise and negativity and judgment and condemnation going on in there, you got to brush those teeth. Some of this stuff. I'm gonna conclude with well-being. So Ernest says, if we want to be well, we must first be happy. If we want to be happy, we must first have confidence. If we want to be confident, we must have faith. And this faith must be so deep-rooted that nothing can shake it. Nothing. And how can we have such faith unless we have conviction? Therefore, there must be a fundamental conviction in a power greater than we are. And we must learn to have complete reliance on it. Ernest Holmes. Is that beautiful? Mm-hmm. And so well-being, this is well-being. This is the well-being. Your mind has a great influence on how to get you through and experience life. Your mind. And I'm not talking about your brain. Remember that. And I'm not talking about hygiene as in your body. I'm talking about your wholeness, your whole self. You know, I'm a very happy person. And happy is transient. Remember, the principle is joy. Happy comes and goes. Joy does not come and go. You either have it or you have it. Now, you have to experience it. Because you always have it. You always have it. You have love, peace, joy, harmony, abundance. It's yours. It's your birthright. You have been born to it. But if you don't have the experience of it, what will we do? We will build that muscle. And you know what? This faith walk that we're doing with this center, this is not my center. This is your center. This is our spiritual community. This is our community. Why do we have a community? Because we come together to soul connect. To be reminded, what are we doing here? How can I love more? How can I have more peace, more joy? Right? So we have to contribute. That means you have to put in the forefront of your mind that we have a new home. And it will provide for us, but we must provide for it. We must. You know, walk around when you're here and you're going to Smart and Final, which is across the street from our new center, or any center, or any store, or any gathering, or whatever. People might have, we're remodeling our house. Well, can you do it gently without demolishing that sink? We could use that sink. And just start really thinking, have ownness of this. Because this is exciting. We can't be here in this place at the cost of it and have a community. We can't have this place for concerts and yoga and meditation and workshops. We can't have this for that reason. We're going to have that there. We're going to have it for weddings and memorials, and it's in a area of thousands of family homes. We're going to have children and families. And what happens when you have children and families coming to this teaching? You have successful families, because family is tough. We need to know how to do that, don't we? We weren't taught that. I wasn't taught that, certainly. I did everything instinctually. I'm 20, want to have a baby. Better find somebody. I mean, what is this human thing that we do? And then, oh yay, for my children, I think I'll learn life on your account. I think I'll raise you and learn. You poor thing. This teaching is amazing, isn't it? Has it changed your life?
Yes.
We're going to do this. We are going to do this, and we're very brave. Do you realize that all over the world, people had to give up their centers? after the pandemic, they couldn't keep it up. And now people are like dipping their toe back into, we really want to be together. Do we? Yes, we do. I mean, we had to do, didn't we? We had to have graphs, and we had to have data, and we had to have a belief built that we want to be together, didn't we? And then we said, okay, well, let's do this. We're going to do it together, and we're going to do it together because it's right and good, because it builds us. It builds us. So, in conclusion, because we must, since there's some time left on Sunday that we can enjoy, the spiritual practice is essential. And I say spiritual practice is how I return what I return to. You get in that situation, you go, oh God, the 4 things, the rejection, the anxiety. I know what to do because I'm trained. I'm like a little soldier. Oh, I know who to call. I know what to do. I know, this is what we learn here. Stress affects the mind as much as it affects the body. Okay? Either avoid the stressful situations or pause before going to deal with them. Pausing helps you to think of better ways to resolve conflicts. We know mind-body medicine is to, we have an onslaught of stuff. Living, we call it living, right? You never know what's going to happen. Every half an hour is a new beginning. You just never know. But if we can return to our practice, return to each other, to unlock the mind's full potential, you must complete these 3 steps. Thought, feelings, and action. Yes? So, I'm going to do a spiritual mind treatment with your help. Are you willing? Okay. This is amazing. These are Ernest Holmes' words. You ready? I'm going to say it, and you're going to respond. I'm going to say it, and then you're going to say it, if you're comfortable. So close your eyes if you're comfortable. Get comfortable. Be willing. Open your mind, your body, your heart, and repeat after me. My body is the temple of the living God.
My body is the temple of the living God.
And I believe in the ability
And I believe in the ability
and the willingness of spirit to sustain its own creation. I believe that every organ and function of my physical body is animated by the living spirit within me. I have complete confidence in this spirit. I know that I am loved of this spirit and needed by it. I feel at home with it. There is no condemnation, no judgment, and no fear in me. I feel that I belong to the world in which I live. That I love people. And I am loved by them. I have a deep sense of confidence and trust. I feel that I am secure in life. And that I need no longer be anxious about anything. I am laying all of my fears and doubts aside and entering into quiet communion
and entering into quiet communion.
With the spirit of confidence,
With the spirit of confidence,
faith,
faith,
and acceptance.
and acceptance.
I feel that my whole being
I feel that my whole being
is renewed,
is renewed,
invigorated,
invigorated,
and made alive.
and made alive.
And last, there is complete stillness
At last there is complete stillness
and perfect peace
and perfect peace
at the center of my being
at the center of my being.
as I wait on that presence,
As I wait on that presence,
which makes all things perfect.
which makes all things perfect.
And so it is.
And so it is.
We're always looking down the road that lies ahead. Tomorrow's fears are spinning round inside our heads. What if all of us could change the world instead? Question wisdom in the grand design. Join the search for any meaning we can find. Trouble is, we're sometimes looking for a sign. And now is what we are. Just know the world is spinning safely at your feet. Show up and try to be right here until you leave. No other past or future could ever be so sweet. 'Cause now is what we are. Now is what we are. Instead of opening every door to find relief, just take the gifts that have been left here at your feet. Look with love on every stranger that you meet. 'Cause now is what we are. 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 Now is what we are.
Yes, and now it's our offering time. And giving financially is a very sacred service. And only because we give back what we give, right? So giving financially is a sacred service. And when we give, we activate and increase our flow of good. And it's just in the spirit. So this spiritual practice gets easier as you notice the increase in your abundant life,
Yeah.
which I have, thank you God. And giving to the Sacramento Center for Spiritual Living supports our vision, our mission and purpose at our new home.
Yes.
Yay! And so go to our website, and you can donate there with our PayPal and credit card. We accept our personal checks. And there's our personal address there, right there. And we appreciate your tax donation, tax deductible support, and we just appreciate all of you, really, for supporting us, and YouTube audience, and you out there in Zoom and in the world. We love you very much. And here's our affirmation we say every week, because we believe it works. And say it with me. And abiding by the laws of circulation and in heartfelt gratitude, I affirm that I live in a creative and abundant universe that continuously flows in, through, and out as me, expressing as the ever-expanding infinite good. And so it is. And then for our latest news, ta-da, drum roll, and there's our new home. Look at that. We're right there. We're stuck out. That's wonderful. And I'm anxious to see it. And then on Town Hall, we meet every Friday, and like Reverend Sharon said,
First and
first and third. And like at 6 p.m., and like Reverend Sharon said, we can catch it now if you miss it. So I missed Friday, so I'm going to get caught up. And there's our Zoom number, so please join us so we can connect. And then we meet in person, of course.
Next Sunday, or when is it?
The third Sunday of June is our last.
It's our last Sunday
here.
Oh, okay. So we'll be here next Sunday.
No, not next Sunday.
The third.
The
The
third
third Sunday. So that's 16th.
That's what I thought, yeah. And then the 5th, and then of course we're on Zoom the 2nd and 4th Sundays. And there's the address. And this is a lovely place. We really appreciate it being here, really. And then here's our Slide Park camping, June 4th to the 6th. And there's the information on our website, www.saccsl.org. So make your reservations. And then we serve the underserved, and this is just great. We're going to meet at Rush Park July 15th, and there's the address. It'll be all on our website, and you bring your donations. Bring bottled water, chairs, everything that you need to enjoy the day. And do you have anything to add?
I don't know
Or
if you
Anna?
had anything, or
I was just going to say how much I have enjoyed being a part of the outreach ministry, because it is such an amazing group of people, friends, actually, that we even have the head of our committee coming in from Canada on Zoom to lead us in this. And it's helped me to see the people who are underserved as human beings who have been hit with some unfortunate circumstances. And for me and others to be able to help a little bit is so meaningful, and it's a way to spread the joy and the gratitude. And I encourage everyone to join the committee and work together. So if you're cleaning out your closet, you see a good sale, please stock up and bring it to Rush Park. We'll be sharing it with them.
Be a great time. Thank you. Thank you very much. And then we have of course, our website. And like I say, you go there, you get every information. It's just fabulous, this website. Anything you need to know, check it out. You'll find it. And then we do prayer requests online, so if you have a special prayer, please send it in, because we love to pray, because we know it works. And then there's our website, and on YouTube Live, you go to the website, you push on the YouTube Live, it takes you directly there. And then on this channel, you can get it the recorded. later if you couldn't make it on at the same time. So, and then here's embracing self-care, and this is our affirmation we spend with you during the week. So keep it in your heart and mind, and we'll say it together. I mindfully fill my cup up with love of who I am. One more time. I mindfully fill my cup up with the love of who I am. And it's true. And now for our benediction. And in gratitude for this service today, for all that I especially learned through the message that we are one in mind through our soul. The deepness that's there, we are really connected through spirit. And so we bless our service, we bless the music that we've been given, we bless the technology that is here to put us on line. And we're just so grateful for everything we have. And so together in gratitude we say, and so it is. Thank you.
Beautiful.
And join us for fellowship.
We're going to sing one more song.
And one more song, River of Love.
Here's the bottom one. And I'm going to try to sing and push slides at the same time. Woohoo! So y'all can sing along with us. Okay. There's a river of love and it flows right through every word I say, everything I do. There's a river of love and it flows right through every word I say, everything I do. Let it flow. I know there's a river that flows. I know there's a river of love and it flows right through every word I say, everything I do. There's a river of love and it flows right through every word I say, everything I do. Let it flow. I know there's a river, let it flow. I know there's a river of love and it flows right through every word I say, everything I do. There's a river of love and it flows right through every word I say, everything I do. Let it flow. I know